it is that they've
Mhm.
already have sold, because again, there's history and there's continuity. So we would source raw materials that we felt the design teams for each client would appreciate. We looked at what
Mhm.
they were successful in the past. We would then have product presentations. We would provide, we would do product presentations of, sorry, you fell out of my ears again. Product presentations of material innovation
Mhm.
on a biannual basis, 18 months ahead of season, at least 1 year ahead of season, to
Mhm.
inspire designers into new new materials, in that we considered materials that would be valuable at retail. Um, we would show them inspirational construction in terms of product, actual product, new stitching, new constructions,
Mhm.
new material components such as zippers and labels, or material embellishments such as new print techniques. And we would make an entire merchandising display. So we would then create a meeting in which these would all be displayed, and we would work with design at all of these client institutions. And
I see.
design would then find their inspirations and make selections. And that's where the process, that's how the whole process begins. When client designers have new inspiration and innovation, they then make designs that are specific for that material. And that's how I then capture, that's the hook. That's what says that that item for design and development comes to me as a source operation to bring
Mhm.
that product into existence through all of the technical gamut that we talked of, its testing, et cetera. Because I led that with material innovation. And that is the beginning of my forming my own profit and loss expectation, my own financial plan to project into the future. That if I look at everything that I'm going to sell and I figure that only 50% of this is going to come to fruition, then I scale that for the 50% of that. And I come to a sales objective, that what we
See.
need to accomplish. Then I look at that in terms of what's going to be novelty, because something that's novelty may only get designed into a smaller item that may only be bought for, a 2 month period, as distinct from something that's more of a commodity fabrication that can be sold as a core essential basic that will be sold for 6 to 12 month period on an ongoing basis. So my sales projections, my financial strategy also relates back to this very technical knowledge
Mhm.
of everything that we have talked to here, because it
I
always
see.
gets translated into and filtered through the material of my business, which is this sourcing, production, and development. So
Mhm.
everything I do has, and that's where I'm very entrepreneurial. If you were to characterize me in a word, I'm entrepreneurial. Not only can I see the significance of a brand, I see what's missing in
Mhm.
businesses. But I also then, and same thing, so I could see what's missing in a business, even at the material level, so that I
Mhm.
could even anticipate, you know, a commodity or a necessary fabric. But then it's not just an idea, because I own the entire process, quite literally, as an end to end control, as a service, and as a company. I am then able to bring my innovation from an idea to the material thing itself. And I can control it to the level of targeting a specific time to have it in store to achieve a specific retail goal. And that's what makes it, again, there's a complexity to that. I'm entrepreneurial, and then I don't know the term for the person that then can bring that into existence and make that happen. And I've done it at the level of the company, I've done it at the level of items and products, and I do it, at the level of a brand.
See. Okay. And then before this point, you mentioned that you also help with the promotion and building the brand image of the company, right?
Yes.
So can you talk about the impact that had on customer engagement and education?
So say that again. So frame a whole question.
Can you talk about the result, the brand, your initiatives to build the brand image had on the customer engagement and education?
That's really an excellent question, because that is the source of brand recognition. And brand recognition is when your audience, when your intended demographic starts to become your customer. And so we do a lot in terms of, and that's really what we're seeking funding for, because that requires advertising, and advertising is money. And that's what we are specifically raising money for. To date, we have done that by developing our Instagram platform and our website. And we use both as an educational tool to advocate for sustainability. We do everything from sharing tips, sustainable tips. We have what's called Wisdom Wednesday, which is about just sharing wise, just wise statements that people make. So, for example, we are just about to use Susan Rockefeller, who talked about, being stylish is about owning what you wear and who you are, as distinct from having to set yourself up with trends. So we share other industry leaders to show ourselves as being a part of the sustainable community. We lead with, so for example, we lead with our own slogans, such as, sustainable lifestyle starts by getting dressed, and do good by what you wear. And so, we get our message out. Our price point is not that we, and this is a challenge we have. Our price point is very, very low, because we sacrifice our own sustainable markup, which is the cost for sustainable production. And we sacrifice that so that our product can be offered at a reasonable price. So, yeah, so from Instagram to Facebook, and then where we are selling, on Amazon, we have a brand page on Amazon. We have that on eBay and Google. We utilize all the direct to consumer platforms. Then, of course, with our experience in this industry of selling to large institutions, we're looking at omni-channel growth. So we know how to make a product presentation to brands. So we take our collection and we work with other stores.
Let's see. And would you be able to quantify the impact on customer acquisition and retention because of these initiatives?
Say that again.
Would you be able to quantify the impact on customer acquisition and retention?
Well, that's and that's part of a brand. So the fact that we sacrifice our the fact that we sacrifice our sustainable markup, it costs us that sustainability markup. The cost of sustainable approaches is approximately 20 to 30% more expensive than conventional approaches. And that's what makes sustainable merchandise cost more. And we sacrifice that. We do not charge that so that our product can be compared to conventional, can go out at conventional price points. So I say that when we sacrifice 30% of our own profit margin to make a customer acquisition is the sacrifice that we are willing to make sustain to what we're saying is that that cost is not about getting people just to buy our product. The mission is about elevating the awareness. It's the cost of elevating the awareness and proliferating that at a mass market level to create an experience of sustainable, premium sustainable merchandise on a mass market level is our goal. And so we sacrifice that as a method to proliferate sustainable awareness in apparel and fashion, to get people to start asking the question, who made my clothes? How are my clothes made? Do my clothes cause damage either to the planet or to people? So by our getting sustainable apparel into their hands that's beautiful and premium, we want and hope, and by means of our platforms, when people go to look at us, we're hoping that we start to raise the questions and the conversation about sustainability in fashion, so that when they go back to shop, it's not only that they come back to shop for us, but they start to ask the same questions that they ask of when they go food shopping.
I see. Okay, great. It's about building that mindset, right?
It's about living that mindset and creating a set of questions that they might ask a second time.
See. Okay. And how successful have you been in acquiring a customer demographic that is attracted to this unique product differentiation?
It's a difficult thing, it's not an easy thing. So we're only 2 years old, but we are meeting our sales objectives, which is very good. Now we need to accelerate it so that we can do this on an exponential basis. This is why we're raising capital, so that we can exponentially. So advertising costs a lot of money. So a good portion of the funds that we are looking to raise will be then used to advertise so that we can get our message more broadly out. But as a brand that's only 2 years old, and we are already seeing that we have already doubled our sales year over year, and even now month over month. And so we are seeing that there is evidence that our model and our message and our product are working to generate these, they're successfully generating, the demographic is responding. And we know that with them advertising, as well as with the rollout of, we are also very responsive to our customers. We don't operate in a bubble. So we have already taken all the customer feedback from our first release, and we don't just create a release upon release. We are again very mindful of not over consuming, of not overproducing, and producing what our customers want. And so we have already developed for our next release the products according to the way the customers have said they would like it to be.